first podcast. Today is a sad day, and I want to say my condolences to Comrade Daniel Williams' family, his wife, his children. I'll take a 30-second moment of silence to respect his family and his hard work that he's been doing for the PPPC. He was a great educator, and I want to take a 30 moments of silence. So as you will see that I'll be on his podcast, but you won't hear anything for 30 seconds. So I want to read a statement from Presidents the Honorable Irfan Ali about the passing of Daniel Williams. The Honorable President has said, "I am deeply saddened to learn that the passing of Comrade Daniel Williams, a regional candidate for our party in Region 7, he tragically collapsed and died this evening while speaking at one of our public meetings in Region 7. Comrade Daniel was a headmaster for 3 miles of the 3 Mile Secondary School and served as an educator for over 30 years. He dedicated his life to serving the community. To his wife, 2 children, and other loved ones, I extend my heartfelt condolences. I pray that God grant you the strength and courage during this difficult time. We thank you, our comrade, for his dedication, his dedicated service. We will honor your work with a deeper commitment and harder work to ensure the development of Region 7 and our country continues under the PPPC administration. Comrade Daniel Williams, I hope your soul rests in peace." Now, let's talk about educating the Guyanese population. And let's talk about Mohammed. Once I come here every day, and I'm honestly tired talking about this guy, but it's like every day he shoots himself in the leg, literally. And you got to talk about the topics. I really at this point in time, I am fed up talking about him because he's so irrelevant. Because now he's running crazy because he's realized all the money that he spent on the scrapes and the buying of votes isn't going to get him the presidency. Might get him a seat or 2, but it isn't going to get him the presidency. I want to also bring up Kian Jabour. We will talk about that in this podcast as well. I looked at one of his live, it's funny, since Sheriff started podcast, everybody got podcast show now. I guess we're trendsetters, but who knows? Everybody was going live. Nobody had a podcast thing going on. So let's talk about what GCOM released yesterday and how the importance of buying votes. Guyana is a duly elected, Guyanese duly elect a president by voting in secrecy, right? We are a democratic nation. As you know, 5 years ago, we fought for 5 straight months because the APNU could not locate or show their SOPs that they said they have won. I clearly remember former President Granger, saying that he saw the booklets, but he didn't see, not the booklets, he didn't see the statement of post, but he saw some paperwork he saw. I'm not too sure. So for 5 months straight in 2020, many persons fought long and hard for fighting for democracy in Guyana. And now we have a candidate that is buying votes. And he is not putting a proxy out there to buy those votes for him. Now, how is GCOM going to act on this? We're waiting. Sheriff News Network is waiting on what GCOM does on this. What I think GCOM should do is ban him from running from elections in this cycle. That is my personal opinion. Second of all, we have videos of this man, as we shown yesterday, that he's handing out money. So I want to read something to you. And here's what I want to read. Because GCOM really needs to act. The people of Guyana needs to put pressure on the Guyana Elections Commission for this clear violation or this clear offense, an indictable offense. So clearly, I'm reading from a teleprompters. There's no secret about that. We know that the Win Party member, he can't read without going on a teleprompter. It says, vote buying, vote intimidation, and breach of ballot secrecy are criminal offenses. Vote buying, vote intimidation, and breach of ballot secrecy are criminal offenses. The reason why I repeated that twice is because we want the criminal. And that's what he is. Azzedine Mohammed, my father-in-law, is a criminal. And he doesn't realize this. He doesn't understand this. If he had true professional help to run for president of Guyana, maybe he would have had a chance. But you have people like Odessa Primus, and I bought KFC for my staff because I want to show people that Sheriff is not about boycotting. We're about supporting the right businesses and the right people. Yes, if we do something wrong and we are, what you call it, sanctioned by the United States of America, not government again, the United States of America, and the banks wants to close your account, then they have all right too. And if the banks are a conglomerate and they own certain other businesses, why should the people of Guyana boycott KFC? It ain't gonna happen because I see them lines. Actually, this KFC took us 45 minutes to get here. That's why I'm late. So the lines at KFC were long. In fact, this is free promotion for KFC. KFC is actually a PR person is probably laughing right now because this is you can't pay for these types of advertisement, right? So presidential hopeful Azzedine Mohammed was caught red-handed on recorded cameras bribing villagers in the interior regions for their votes on September 1st, which is obviously the general and regional election. GCOM considers this as a criminal offense. But if GCOM considered this as a criminal offense, why hasn't GCOM instituted charges as yet? There's clear video out there. This is not allegations that we're making. These are facts. Now, clearly, Mohammed wants to be the honorable vice president so bad. He's so obsessed with this man that it is becoming it's becoming very clear that Azzedine Mohammed is losing his mind, because he realized that he will not win the presidency. He might get a seat. He might actually get 2 seats. But he's not going to win the presidency. And PPPC will continue with their majority. In addition, the people who associate themselves with someone under international sanctions risk being sanctioned as well, losing their visas, having their bank account closed, and you're also committing an offense by participating in a criminal act. Let me educate you a little. Once you receive that money, and all those people who have received monies, your faces are now online. We are in a social media age. So people know you, people will snitch on you. We had hundreds of people actually sent us messages yesterday with people's name, number, and addresses to send to GCOM. Now, at Sheriff News Network, we're here to talk the truth and nothing but the truth, and we're not snitches. That's not our place to send it to GCOM. GCOM for 4 years, they get paid to do nothing. And on year 5, they basically have to work. So they need to do their work, right? We're not snitches at Sheriff News Network. We don't record people's calls. We don't pay bribes to people. We just come here and speak the truth. Right? Well, I do this. I can't speak for the rest of my team, because mud water is now clear water, apparently. GCOM, after concerns, you know, if I don't make these corny jokes in my podcast, then it's really not Amir Ahmad's podcast, right? You might as well bring the real mud water in here, right? So GCOM, after concerns were raised by opposition parties, all the opposition parties who witnessed Mohammed, the presidential candidate of the Win political party, paying votes in the hinterland region, said that the Guyana Elections Commission takes this opportunity to remind all stakeholders in the September 1st, 2025 regional and general elections that they have a statutory duty on civil responsibility to contribute to elections being conducted a free, fair, and transparent, credible manner. In this regard, the Commission takes an opportunity to strongly emphasize the need for voters and other concerned stakeholders to be informed of the following provision as enacted in the Representation of the People's Act 1-03. It is an offense for any person, including voters himself, to communicate at any time or any person any information about a political party for which voters and voted on their behalf, or as a proxy on behalf of another voter. Obstructing the secrecy of the vote is an offense. Similarly, it is an offense for anyone to influence by any means a voter to display his or her ballot paper to make known the political party for whom he or her has voted for on the behalf or as a proxy. Further, it is an offense for persons directly or indirectly to offer money, gifts, or loan to any voters to secure votes or any votes at this election. Any person who commits the above shall be liable to a summary conviction, to pay a fine, and a 6-month imprisonment. Person convicted for the above events may also be prohibited from participating in future elections. This is what GCOM said. This is not what Amir Ahmad said. This is not what the PPP said. This is not what the APNU said. This is not what Amanza Walton party said. This is not what Wynne said. So let's take this by the books today, right? So we all saw a video, and I'm pressuring GCOM here right now, because what goes for one shall go for all. And GCOM is not acting. It says you cannot bribe. So Mohammed can come out and say, well, it's a donation. A donation is classified as a gift as well. Am I correct? Can somebody correct me here? Isn't a donation and a gift almost the same thing? So in either way, he has committed an offense. And at this point, it's been more than 24, well, it's actually been more than 24 hours since GCOM released this statement. And there's been no action taken whatsoever about T. Mohammed bribing, giving gifts, right? And he should be barred from running for presidency. Now, why do we keep on talking about T. Mohammed? Why do people think that we are obsessed with him? We're not. We want a better future in Guyana. We just don't want a person who is sanctioned by OFAC in the United States, who has smuggled 10,000 kilos of gold. Now, I want to stop there for a second and read another article, but I have to put a disclaimer to this article. Sheriff News Network and Sheriff Podcast is going to read an alleged article that a gold seizure did happen in Brazil yesterday. That's a fact. But what we cannot verify is who the gold came from. So let me read a Brazilian news outlet. And the Brazilian news outlet should stated that, 1 second. It says, $3 billion in gold caught in smuggling attempts in Boa Vista, Brazil. As Wynne presidential candidate Azzedine Mohammed is sanctioned by the US for gold smuggling. Again, I want to say to my viewers that this is all alleged, and Sheriff News Network nor Sheriff Podcasts can verify this information. We are working diligently to verify this information. But I'm still going to read it anyways. Boa Vista, Roraima, August 4th, 2025. What may represent the largest seizure in Brazil so far this year? The Federal Highway Police, PRF, intercepted 104 kilograms of gold bars, estimated to be 62 million reals, hidden in a Toyota Hilux during a routine stop on Brazil Highway 401 near the Ponta de Maxas Road. I cannot pronounce that properly. I'm not Brazilian, so I don't know to speak the language. I don't know how to pronounce the words. Officers alerted by the suspicious documentation discovered by the bars clandestine embedded in the vehicle's dashboard. So the gold bars were embedded in the vehicle's dashboard. The driver, a 30-year-old man traveling with his wife and infant, were arrested on spot, and the gold promptly turned over to the federal police for deeper investigation. At least one PFR agent described the haul as the largest seizure of gold ever recorded by the PFR in Roraima, surpassing a previous haul of just 21 kilograms in mid-2024. Origin suspected from Guyana remains unverified. An office of the Foreign Asset Control OFAC of the United States Department of Treasury on July 11, 2024, announced imposed sanctions against the Mohammed's family, specifically targeting Nazar Mohammed, his son Mohammed, and their businesses, namely Mohammed's Enterprise, Hadi's World, Team Mohammed's Racing, and the sanctions were connected to gold smuggling and corruption. Former Permanent Secretary of Home Affairs, Mee Thomas, was also sanctioned. Although authorities have not confirmed metal origins or connection to the investigations, a reportedly examined intelligence channel suggests that the gold may have crossed Brazil from neighboring Guyana. And it came from Ano News GY. Now, again, we cannot confirm this information. We're just reading out to you. Now, why does this make sense to us? A man is giving away, remember, this is my opinion and my opinion only. This is not the opinion of Sheriff's Podcast. This is not the opinion of Sheriff News Network. Remember this. Let's take this as a whole. Mohammed was sanctioned out to the blue. Right? He was sanctioned out to the blue. He didn't have time to move his assets or money. He wasn't alerted. He woke up one morning and he read the article just like us from Gord Mosley's page that the United States government has sanctioned the Mohammed's family, Hadi's World, Team Mohammed. He was kicked out of the Guyana Motor Racing club. Hadi's World had to close down. The Cambio license was revoked by the Bank of Guyana. So on and so forth. You guys all know the story. There's no need for me to rehash that. I would say that I, Amir Ahmad, believe that some of this gold is probably, and again, I cannot verify this, but it's connected to somebody in Guyana. Who's that somebody? We don't know. But from all indications that we've been getting is that the Mohammed's family is running out of money. Now, I'm not making any assumptions here. I'm just saying that he didn't have time to move his money. But he maybe had gold bars for many, many years. And from that stemmed the need for money, because campaigning isn't easy. Now again, I don't want to make any assumptions. We want to stick to the topic of politics because we have 27 more days to go for elections. We want GCOM, the Guyana Elections Commission, to do their job. We have the video. The video is live. We had the video from the day the live came out. And why is this individual still on the list? First, it was a Jaguar. Guyana don't have Jaguars. Don't know where he finding a Jaguar from in Guyana. Then it's a Leopard. Don't know where he finding a Leopard from in Guyana. Second of all, right, GCOM rejected that. They accepted the Jaguar, right? Then here comes GCOM again, bringing out a press release stating that there's a fine and a 6-month imprisonment. GCOM needs to act. What goes for one goes for all. Just like how we were fighting in 2020 for a rigged election, is just how we are fighting now for the secrecy of votes to be kept. Not to be bribed, not to be gifted, not to be anything. So, GCOM, the people of Guyana are calling on you to please do something about this matter. Because if a regular man out there go and commits a crime, the first thing the police do is go and pick him up and they throw in the lockup. So why is Team Muhammad any different? Why is he any different? He's just a boy with money. So I'm going to leave the GCOM topic alone today, for today, because they need to really act on this matter. This person, or this boy with money, so to speak, is buying votes. He's calling on, he's being so presumptuous now, and he's getting crazy. He's getting mentally ill at every moment's notice, or every day. He wants to be Vice President Barajagdio so bad. Trust me, I've heard that from one of his family members. The man said that he's so obsessed with Barajagdio that when Thursday 2 o'clock come on, right, the only thing Azzedine Mohammed does is sits on his computer and watch that press conference from beginning to end. So at least the Honorable Vice President has a fan. A dedicated fan every Thursday. Now, I want to move on to Kian Jabour. And before I start with that, Kian Jabour used to work with me at Johnny Rockets when me and my wife had owned Johnny Rockets. We're separated now. Great gal, by the way, and we have 2 children. So Kian Jabour is going around opening his mouth. And I know he's going to clap me back for this, but I don't care. I have thick skin, right? Going around opening his mouth about the Honorable Vice President. And I know he's going to say that the Vice President told me to say this, but I know the truth. The Vice President knows the truth. Don't even speak to the Vice President, by the way. And, but I defend what is right. Kian Jabour, yes, we thank you for fighting in 2020, day in, day out. I did see you, day in, day out. I wasn't present in the country at that time. Day in, day out, fighting for a rigged election. As you said, you were sitting at the table with the parties. As you said, Jagdev said he only met you twice. Now the man is the Vice President of the country. You think he can remember everybody he meets? Are you kidding me? Now, you were part of ACNO, or still a part of ACNO, I don't know. The US will have to determine that when they either revoke your visa, or the banks will have to figure out if you're part of ACNO, who is now a part of the WIN team. Am I correct, producer? ACNO is now part of WIN's team. I think there's a merger. They signed a document. Yeah, I saw that press conference. So if you're still part of ACNO, look out for the Americans sanctioning you. Well, not sanctioning you, taking away your visas, or when you travel, they pull you in for questioning, and they, what you call it, they pressure you, because that, or they take away your loans. I don't know if you have loans, but you are condemning the PPPC government of not being able to run a government. You are advocating for a minority government, right? That's what you are. You are advocating for a minority government. And by advocating for a minority government, you are telling the people that you want to educate them, that you've been doing this for 5 years, which you have been doing. But you cannot run a business. So funny enough, you call the Honorable Vice President Bana on your live, your live show. You don't have a podcast, you have two lights. But you were stealing electricity from the GPL. And you're coming out there. So funny enough is, I do security for GPL. So when they need to go cut off somebody light or somebody who's stealing electricity, they will take one of our staff. So we know the story. You stole electricity from GPL and to run a business that now has been closed. And you're telling the people of Guyana how to vote, and that they need a minority government because they want to hold the PPP accountable. And you said that $1.3 trillion was approved in the budget, and you're talking about the gas to energy project like you know anything about gas to energy. You're talking about the president and Team Mohammed going on two lives. Yes, the man bought followers, of course. I know this. His family tells me this. Of course he's going to get views. He's going to pay people to watch. What the PPP is getting is organic views. And like you said, everything I have said here is the truth and nothing but the truth. Like you said everything. But you're not telling the Guyanese people about your past. Unlike me, I tell them I opened several businesses and it failed. And I fell in lucky with a few businesses that really produce income and that are doing well. But you're not telling the people that Taco Loco was owned half by your girlfriend and you took it away from her, and then you opened your own Taco Loco, that failed, you were stealing electricity. And how can you sit there and speak about how to run a country when you can't run a $2 business? Literally, you can't run a $2 business. So, just like Azadeen Mohammed, you failed to launch. And you're always going to fail to launch because you don't have the drive to run a business. All you do is talk. You're one of those con men that talks their way out. You remember when I sent you and Donna to the Johnny Rockets trading, and both of y'all took my money that I sent you up with, right? And drove from LA to Las Vegas? Do you want me to remind you of that story? And then got caught doing it? Anyways, Donna's a friend of mine. Donna, it's okay if you went to Las Vegas and had fun. Have no problem with that. Right? But Kian Jabour, what I can't understand about you, and Kian, me and you are friends, right? So we don't have a problem with each other. But what I have to say to you is, look, you gotta fix your house before you criticize somebody else's house. You guys joined forces with Asha Kisu, and Asha saw so many things wrong with you and the Agnew party that she didn't give up her seat. She refused to change. She refused to give TM her seat. She said it right here in the podcast. So, a man who steals electricity, a man who has failed businesses, allegedly robbed his girlfriend, right? How are you telling the PPPC, the most productive party in the history of Guyana, from Cherry Jagan to Jana Jagan to the Honorable Vice President Barry Jagdeo, to Donald Ramatar, to now the Honorable Irfan Ali, brilliant minds. The Honorable Barry Jagdeo that you were speaking about and calling him Bana, the no respect that you have, has been doing this for 30 odd years. He was president of Guyana at 35. You're past 35 and you're living off of your parents or whoever you're living off of, because you ain't got no business, you're stealing in the electricity. At 35, the Honorable Vice President that you refer to as Bana, yes, on your podcast or your whatever you call that show, right, was the president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So you're fighting for a minority government. You don't know what you're talking about. I have to laugh because I just remember the things that you've done, and you're trying to educate the Guyanese population. Fix your house and then tell the PPP how to fix their house. You want to talk about gas to energy project? What do you know about gas to energy project? You can't run Taco Loco, that is sell taco. Literally, you just buy the taco shell and you just cut the meat up and put it in there. You can't even run Taco Loco. It was closed down. And you telling the PPPC administration and the government of Ghana how to run the budget and how to run the gas to energy. Are you kidding me, guy? What you need to do is go and figure out how to run Taco Loco. Stop stealing electricity, make some money, and then come back and tell the government how to do their job. So, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to go over these topics again. One, if you're caught collecting money or monies from T. Muhammad now, or he's giving you money, you're willing to send us or a testimonial, send this to Sheriff News Network, we will forward it to GCOM. What goes for one shall go for all, because if it was a regular man out there, I am sure that if it was Amanza Walton party or the PPPC party or the APNU party, and let me remind you something, Kian Jabour. Not because Aubrey Norton. Aubrey Norton isn't a great leader. You don't need to call him a waste, sir. Stop calling people waste. Do not be disrespectful. He is the leader of the opposition in Guyana. You need to be a little more respectful, boy. Well, man, I must say. Because at 35, the Honorable President Barry Jagdeo was President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Now, here's why we need a majority government in Guyana. And here's why people need to come out and vote. When Donald Ramatar, the Honorable Donald Ramatar was running for president, and he won the presidency but not the majority. In that 5 years, everything that was put forward by the PPPC, well, 3.5 years, correct? It was 3.5 years before they dissolved parliament and called the no elections thing. But in those 3.5 years, nothing got passed. Everything was, all the budgets were cut. And basically the country was at a standstill. So once you have a minority government that then basically you're stagnating the government. It's like having a partnership that's 50-50. Doesn't make sense. It has to be 51-49. Right? It has to be 51-49. Because two parties will always fight. Now, I want to remind Kian Jabour. Also, would like to remind you, sir, Kian Jabour, Aubrey Norton can string two coherent sentences together, unlike the man that you are supporting. Again, Aubrey Norton can string two coherent sentences together, unlike Azzedine Mohammed, who you are supporting. And you know what's funny? You are allegedly being paid to do your podcast every day by Azzedine Mohammed to bash the vice president and the president of Guyana. But guess what? You need to go and open back your little taco stand and buy. The tacos a sell, right? You know, I just want to remind you, Kian, the tacos a sell. All you gotta do is just mix the thing together and put it in the taco. I put my 11-year-old to do that. She run a better business and pay for her electricity. Maybe that's why you visited the gas to energy project the other day. You wanted to see how to steal electricity again. Makes sense now, you know, makes sense. It actually makes sense. That's why you visited. You wanted to see the underground wires, and so tell the people the truth. But Kian, you and I are friends. I know you're going to go after me today, whatever. I don't give a right? But we need a majority government in Guyana to go forward, not go backwards. I want to say something controversial on this podcast. Well, this podcast is always controversial, for Christ's sake. But and I don't know if to say it, but I will. Because I'm not afraid. See, a lot of people are afraid to talk and come out with the truth. When Cheddi Jagan was running this country, when the founding fathers came together and ran this country, the CIA decided that they didn't want Cheddi Jagan to be president. So what they did is that, and these documents are declassified, by the way. You can actually go on the US government's website and you can verify it. And I'm not afraid to talk about it. Because like Mark Franz said, country over visa. So at the end of the day, if the US wants to revoke my visa because of me saying something that's declassified, go right ahead. I am not a sanctioned individual. I am nothing. I don't do anything illegal. But what I can tell you is they spent US $28 million to bring Guyana into chaos, to bring Forbes Burnham into power. And they burned businesses. That's where the Mo Fire, Slow Fire came from back in the day. It's education I'm giving you guys. And take it. And they basically helped Forbes Burnham to become president. They funded the country $28 million US. Well, no. The country lost $28 million US in those days of burning and destruction. And they installed Forbes Burnham as president. But what they didn't know is what Forbes Burnham would have done. And what Forbes Burnham done had done or did was to ban. He hadn't, remember, he had control, so he banned everything, all imports and exports. He wanted Ghana to be self-sufficient. And I remember my grandparents telling us the stories that they would get barrels from the United States and they would glad to see sardines and peanuts, and you could even buy chocolate on the road. Imagine that. And grapes. I remember the grape story because my grandmother used to like grapes, and she used to tell me all the time that her family used to send grapes for her in barrels, or when they come to Ghana, they will smuggle it in, right? No one, Sheriff, don't do any smuggling. That was my grandma and she family. She died a long time ago, so because I know y'all can come back with something about that, right? So they set the country, Forbes Burnham set the country back, which is the PNC party now rebranded to the APNU, set the country back 40 years. And that is why I cannot understand why Kian, Jabour, and why people are taking Win seriously. Because the US doesn't like him. We will get more sanctions. GECOM, the people are out, the bank accounts are already closed. By the way, NBS closed their accounts. Everybody is associated with Win. Now, do you want, at this point in time, people who are in the borderline of voting, people who are the undecided voters and the younger population, do you want Ghana to go back 40 years? Or do you want us to continue the progress that we've been going? Think about that. Sit and think about that until my next podcast tomorrow. Right? Now, I want to say one last thing before I end this podcast. When you're voting on election day, vote for the PPPC, vote for progress, put your X in the box. Do not let your X touch outside the box. Do not let your X touch the lines of the box. Do not violate any of the GCOM laws by taking out photos of your ballots to show anyone. Do not take bribes to vote for anyone. As Charandas said, he had voted his conscience. So vote your conscience this election. Vote progress this election. Vote what you think is right. What I think is right is the PPPC, and they're going to get a majority government. Don't worry about the likes of Kian, Jabour, Sherrod Duncan. You gotta worry about it. You gotta understand who these people are. They are wolves in sheep clothing, just like T. Muhammad, wolf in sheep's clothing. Right? You gotta listen to people who are educated, who understand what they're talking about, and who can give you the facts, the real facts and the real story. Not half and half. Not talk truth and talk lie. Everything that is said on this podcast can be verified. We give disclaimers of what cannot be verified. Now, I want to say one last thing. Kian, Jabour, have some respect for the damn government of Guyana. Right? Just because you didn't get into parliament, you're sour. You're like a sour puss. Just because AGNU didn't really take you seriously because they know that you couldn't run a business. You had several failed businesses, and I had several failed businesses, but I've picked myself up and I've come back, and I've chose businesses that are wise and that can make money. Right? I didn't steal electricity. So before you go bashing the government, of Guyana and telling people but they need a minority government. Think about the lives you are affecting because you are allegedly being paid and collecting monies from Team Mohammed to go out and bash the president and the vice president. We all know that Mohammed realized that he cannot be president of Guyana. He will not be president of Guyana, and the most he will get is 2 seats, because literally you can count. If we pull up a count in this podcast and we count, you only count in 1 seat there. Okay, you can count. The other day we count, we get 40 people at this rally, right? How much votes is a seat? Around 5,000 plus, right? So, if you count the people at this rally, right, and the people are afraid to come out to his rally or vote for him because they don't want to be sanctioned. Ladies and gentlemen, if you vote, let's get to a serious topic. If you vote for T. Mohammed and you and somehow your ballots get leaked, or somehow one of the other parties leak your ballot, and all the banks now start closing your accounts, what's going to happen to your house loan? Are you going to be able to pay that off? Because once a bank closes your account, you got to pay back the loans immediately, or repossession has to be done almost immediately. So think about that. That's a possibility, right? Because remember, all parties will have to have representative. All a representative have to do is just take out the phone and snap the name of you and your ID card. Well, not your ID card. They already have your ID card. Just mark your name on the list, and guess what? All your accounts will be closed. All your homes will be taken away, because I'm sure most of you who are going to vote for Win have loans. All your car loans, all your bike loans are going to be taken away. Again, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but it's a high possibility that that can happen. A vote for Win can cost you your house, can cost you your car, can cost you your motorcycle, your bank account, your visa. So, do you really want to risk it all? Or do you want to vote for a party that's going to give you progress? Come this election, vote PPPC. Tonight at Sheriff Bar, we have the comedy show. We have an open mic. Mr. Mohammed, please, I'm begging you, don't come. We don't want you there. We already have enough comedy lineup. We don't need another comedian or a clown to show up at Sheriff's Bar upstairs, right? They already have a clown, which is me. I usually go and talk about we opening the slack box and the tight box line, right? So my point is here, please don't come. We don't want you. Don't send your scripts. Don't send nobody. Just keep away from my premises, please. Right? 2, the bar downstairs is open as regular from 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. Upstairs, the comedy show is going to be going on. The ticket prices are $10,000. Tickets will be available at the door. You get 10 free Banks beer or shandy of your choice, and of course Malta. You can choose one out of the 3. So basically, you're coming in for free. What we're trying to do at Sheriff is bring back comedy to Guyana, bring back and have the comedians have a platform to show what they're capable of, and people eat, drink, have fun, and that's on the 2nd floor of Sheriff's Bar. On the ground floor, we're open for business, regular bar situation going on there, and we don't thief current. We actually got a big meter. I think from the Kian Jabour incident, GPL put me meter the front. Everybody meters the side, GPL put me meter the front. Anyways, so check us out. Also, I don't get paid to do this, so I have to advertise my businesses. Secured Cambio on Region 3. We have the best rates. It's powered by Sheriff, of course. Sheriff Group, part of Sheriff Conglomerate owns it. I want you to check out the Sheriff Hospital. If you're sick, don't just go and watch the hospital if you're not sick. Only if you're sick, go and support the hospital. Of course, the government of Guyana has 7 new hospitals. Sorry, I got to take a drink out of my PPP cup here. So, one second. It gets me thirsty at times. Yeah. So, vote PPPC. And you know what's so funny? Yesterday we were doing payroll at my office, and somebody called me, and I said, "Hey, you voted PPPC?" And the man said, "No," right? And I hang up. And the man came back. The man said, "What are you joking with you?" I was like, "We can't make them type of jokes. What kind of joke you making there, man? Don't call me. If you don't vote PPPC, don't call me. I don't want to hear from you." Right? So again, if you're sick, check out the Sheriff Hospital in Region 3. Hire the best, hire Sheriff Security Service. But again, the bar is open. We also have the famous Italian and Brazilian grill at Sheriff Street location next to the medical center. That's open up to 10 o'clock. You can get prime picanha, A-grade picanha there. You can taste a flavor of Brazil. It's always good to try different foods. And the bar as well, you can try different foods. And at Sheriff Bar, we don't boycott the best rum in the world. We actually sell the best rum in the world. So check us out. I hope to see a packed crowd tonight at the comedy show. Remember, local content and supporting your local Guyanese is best. And these bling, fling, chubby, skinny, clean water, mud water, all of them coming tonight. Chow Pow, Wow Pow. Chow Pow says something about some barrel the other day. I still traumatized every time I see a barrel. I watching away. I running from barrels and everything. So we also have an open mic session where you can come, crack 2 jokes, have fun, Again, the bar downstairs is open to the regular bar vibe. Like I always say, Sheriff, it's just not the bar, it's a vibe because there's so much going on at the bar. There's what you call it, there's the pool side, there's the 2 outer part, then you can party in the inside as well. So come support the Sheriff Group of companies. Don't boycott us like some people have been telling you to boycott KFC and Indie Curry Powder and so on. Thank you for watching this podcast. Vote PPPC come election day. GCOM, we're waiting. We have the videos. You need to put pressure on these parties to do the right things. You cannot let things go. And again, the GRA is still open. Mr. Mohammed can go and rev his cars in front of GRA, and let's see how that plays out. I want to thank you again for watching my podcast, listening to my corny jokes. Kian, Jabour, no hate, brother. I just have to tell the truth on this podcast. But I think you should have some respect for the ruling party. And think about it. At least Aubrey Norton can put 2 coherent sentences together. The man that you are fighting for and that you want to win, but that's not going to win, and the win party that you're supporting cannot put 2 coherent sentences together. Thank you for watching, and thank you for taking your time out. Thank you for honestly letting me educate you about the politics and what's going on in Guyana. I'm not going to talk about infrastructure today. I'm not going to talk about the roads. I think I've talked about that enough. And by the way, please, let me retract that statement. I am going to talk about the roads for 1 minute. My producer hates me because he says I never get off the mic, right? But if you want to see little America, because in Guyana they got the street called Little Guyana. If you want to see Little America, drive the Ogle Highway now, and you will see a glimpse of what the PPP has for you in the future. Little they should rename that road from Ogle to Little America or Little Queens. I am very proud of what the PPP has done. Continue. I wanted to wear my PPPC shirt today, but the reason I didn't is because people are going to think I'm affiliated with the PPP. I'm not. I just really want to have fun. I really want to talk to my viewers, speak to them, and I really want to educate you, and sheriff cannot be bought. So at the end of the day, people are carrying feelings about who like who uncle and who ain't like who uncle and so on and so forth. Get some messages this morning from one of my uncles in the States and all of that, man. Quarrel up at me and ask if I don't like you. But if I don't like you, I don't like you. It doesn't mean that I won't support you. But I mean, it's crazy. Election time is crazy with family. I got my father-in-law trying to kill me or allegedly kill me and coming and trying to talk to me to stop this podcast. I got my uncle who now feels offended because I said I don't like him. But at the end of the day, it's like this election is drama all over the place, right? And we have the PPP rallies erupting like volcanoes, wind going crazy. It's drama, right? So I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you again for watching Sheriff Podcast.